We bring you the morning edition of MBC News with me, Opile Kaisa. The headlines. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika says his government has put measures to ensure that the country is stabilized from various economic challenges. Government challenges local councils to find sustainable economic activities that can transform their districts. In our special report, we bring in families that once lost hope on the academic future of their children and now have it restored due to the free secondary education policy. And now the news in detail. His Excellency the President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika says his government has put in place tangible measures to ensure that the country is stabilized from various economic challenges. Professor Mutharika was speaking at Parliament Building in Lilongwe, where he delivered the State of Nation address. He said his administration has lined up a number of development projects and initiatives aimed at improving the welfare of Malawians. Charles Wahara reports.
The State of the Nation address comes 5 months after the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, resumed power following the September 2025 general elections. In his address, President Mutharika started with assuring Malawians of his commitment to restore the economy through the introduction of measures that control spending within the state machinery. The President pointed out the reduction of fuel entitlements for cabinet ministers and other government officials, as well as restricting local and international travels as some means of controlling spending and promote austerity.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my government also instituted measures or set measures to save our resources for improved service delivery. These include reducing fuel entitlements for cabinet ministers and all government officials, and also restricting local and foreign travel. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to thank Malawians for their understanding that we are in an economic crisis and we need to make tough and painful decisions, which will soon be offset by the expected gains.
In the area of fuel efficiency in the country, Professor Mutharika explained that his government will double fuel storage capacity from 60 million litres to 120 million litres through the construction of new facilities in Lilongwe, Blantyre and Mzuzu. In the area of agriculture, the President has guaranteed that farmers in the 2026-2027 agriculture season should expect a better and improved delivery of the affordable fertilizer input program. On staple food availability, the Malawi leader said when he assumed office, Malawi was in serious food crisis, saying the price of maize was beyond the reach of many families. He added that currently maize is selling at around 38,000 kwacha and 55,000 kwacha per 50 kg bag, from around 100,000 kwacha before his government came into power.
In the 2026-27 agriculture season, Malawians should expect a better and improved delivery of affordable fertilizer program. However, I must emphasize that we need an affordable and sustainable solution to fertilizer. As such, we are facilitating the commencement of a fertilizer production in this country. Mr. Speaker, sir, you also recall that we found tobacco farmers stranded with 3.5 million kilograms of unsold tobacco on the auction floor. In my mid-year budget review statement, I directed, I'm pleased to report that almost all the tobacco was sold, earning $8.6 million.
On road infrastructure development, President Mutharika says he has directed that target revenues along the M1 road be ring-fenced and designated exclusively for the road maintenance. Mutharika says the development will assist in improving the M1 road condition from Nsanje to Chitipa, saying it is in bad shape due to years of maintenance negligence. The President further says he has directed that road maintenance must resume with immediate effect. On free secondary education in public schools, President Professor Mutharika said over 1,800 students who dropped out of school due to financial challenges have already returned to school. He says his government will also expand university student loans to accommodate more students. On health, President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika says that drug supplies in public hospitals have extensively improved with adequate stocks of malaria, TB and HIV/AIDS medication. President Mutharika mentioned that the health budget has been increased by 17 billion kwacha plus 5 billion kwacha for child vaccines. He also said that Mzuzu Central Hospital will begin offering dialysis services in the coming financial year. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika says government has increased the Constituency Development Fund, the CDF, to 5 billion kwacha in what the president describes as a major transformation in financing local development. He said the move aims to strengthen decentralization, improve accountability, and accelerate grassroots development.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my government has prioritized decentralization to improve efficiency, accountability, and accelerate development at the grassroots level. My government has taken a bold step to increase the Reformed Development Fund, CDF, from 21-20 million to 5 billion per constituency per year.
The president warned that funds are performance-based and any misuse will attract the full force of the law. The president called on the National Local Government Finance Committee to intensify oversight in councils. Charles Wahara, NBC News, Parliament Building, Lilongwe.
President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika says government will prioritize infrastructure development, skills training and climate action as part of efforts to support long-term national development. George Mkandawire reports.
According to President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, government plans to resume stalled construction projects, strengthen community colleges, and continue labor-intensive public programs to create opportunities at local level. He also announced plans to introduce annual scholarships aimed at supporting youth in every constituency, starting from the 2026-2027 financial year.
Government will continue with the development of special economic zones to attract high-value investments. These include Magwero, Chigumula, Matindi, and Dunduzu Industrial Park. And two, government will also strengthen cooperatives and micro, small, and medium enterprises to boost value addition and increase import substitution. Mr. Speaker, sir, my government also intensify support for local production to further drive down commodity prices, create jobs, and grow the economy.
President Mutharika further says his administration is prioritizing railway and water transport projects as part of efforts to strengthen cargo movement and improve national connectivity. He also announced plans to begin feasibility and design studies for railway expansion linking the central and northern regions.
My government will, one, expedite the signing of a memorandum of understanding for the Nakala Rail Corridor. Two, advance works on the Kanengo-Chinji line. And three, commence feasibility and design studies for rail expansion from the central to the northern region. Marine and water transport. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the 2026-27 financial year, my government will, one, complete construction of the Likoma Port, two, rehabilitate and upgrade Chipoka Port, and three, facilitate private sector participation in the lake transport to invest more in cargo and passenger vessels. These efforts in the transport sector will position Malawi as a competitive hub for regional trade.
Among the major projects the president announced include the rehabilitation of M5 Road from Kapatenga to Benga, 4 sections of M1 Road between Lilongwe and Chiweta, Msipe Ruonde Road, Masasa Goromoti Monkibe Kwekwere Road, Mangochi Monkibe Road, Rumpi Nyika Chitipa, and Ncheu Tsangano Neno Mwanza Road, among others. George Nkandawire, NBC, Lilongwe.
Meanwhile, the World Bank has welcomed President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika's reform-focused State of the Nation address delivered in Parliament on Friday. World Bank Country Manager for Malawi, Firas Rad, stressed the need for people-centered reforms that protect the poor and vulnerable while emphasizing macroeconomic stabilization as key to unlocking private sector growth and job creation.
The first point is the recognition that the crisis that Malawi is in is a human-manufactured crisis, a man-made crisis, and therefore it is solvable. And we do very much agree with His Excellency around this very important point. The second one is that any approach, a developmental approach, has to be people-centered. And we think this is incredibly important because as the country reforms and recovers, the most poor and vulnerable segments of society have to be shielded and protected. I'd also like to emphasize as well the points that His Excellency made around macroeconomic stabilization. For us, this is a foundational action that needs to be taken to then allow the private sector to grow. His Excellency also talked about the sources of growth and covered many different sectors. And we do believe now that it is time to unleash the energies of the private sector, and they need an enabling environment to do so. Because it's only through the private sector that you create jobs, and through those jobs you provide dignity, you reduce poverty, and you improve living standards. And lastly, I would say that a very important message that His Excellency emphasized was this idea of Malawi moving from being importing and consuming nation to an exporting and producing nation. So I'd like to commend the government on this first address.
Local Government and Rural Development Minister Ben Piri has challenged councils across the country to find sustainable economic activities that can transform their districts. Piri said time has come for local councils to identify economic zones that are suitable for their areas. Austin Fukula reports.
After appreciating Cholo Milk Back Center, the minister said Cholo needs to upscale its dairy farming and embark on value addition on milk which is produced. Piri stated that government has identified dairy production as Cholo's key economic driver, and his ministry is ready to support value addition initiatives, including the establishment of milk processing facilities.
We agreed that our economy will be dairy. Now, because it will be dairy, we will have sour milk, for example. What do we do with that? Chambiko has been there before. Can we value add to make sure that we don't have wastes? At the same time, the milk itself goes to Lilongwe. Can we have a factory that will add value right here in Cholo? And our trade project in the ministry is providing that answer.
In a reaction to the challenge that the minister posed to the councils, Cholo District Commissioner Noel Dakamau indicates that the council has put in place strategies to boost revenue and drive local economic growth. Dakamau says the council has plans to invest in a dairy value addition in order to transform the district.
We have noted that dairy farming is a plus because people are able to have a dairy farming in a very small piece of land in their community. And currently, with the funding from Trade Project, this is the government project, we are constructing the working buildings, factories, whereby we need to turn that milk into value-added things like powder.
In his tour to Nsanje, the minister said he will send his ministry officials to do an audit as he is not impressed with the performance of the council.
It is an audit that will encompass all areas, be it performance, be it financial, and all other sectors, so that at least it gives us room to understand how we want to revamp the council. So I can't really give this one a timeline, but we would love them to come and do a proper work in as far as audit is concerned, so that we identify where the bottlenecks are and how best we can handle it.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Local Government says Chikwawa is on the right path in both local revenue collection and utilization of resources from donors. In a nutshell, the minister believes if every district creates its economic zone, these can help councils to have sustainable development. Austin Fukula, MPC News.
This is the morning edition of MPC News. A reminder of our top stories. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika says his government has put measures to ensure that the country is stabilized from various economic challenges. Government challenges local councils to find sustainable economic activities that can transform their districts. In our special report, we bring in families that once lost hope on the academic future of their children and now have it restored due to the free secondary education policy. Welcome back. Free secondary education policy which government is implementing might look like a mere policy to many, but in the most rural areas of Malawi, there are footprints that only tears of disbelief can explain. In our special report this week, Rashida Matandika brings in families that once lost hope on the academic future of their children and now have it restored. This is a story of 3 families in the outskirts of Balaka Rural.
At Mapila village, Traditional Authority Sawali in Balaka district, 41-year-old Florence Lloyd was once in despair. Her son Harold was so passionate about school, but her husband had made it clear he could never support a stepchild.
When
I notified his father, he told me off. I reminded him and he said that it was none of his business and that instead of paying school fees for Harold, I should focus on providing food for the other children, as Harold will build his own family.
Jean Luca, a widow, saw her son Watson, who wanted nothing but to complete his education, drop out of school in his first term of Form 3 because every piecework that the mother did could not give them enough money to pay for her son's school fees.
His education journey has been hard because he is an orphan. School fees has been a problem and has been doing pieceworks to afford it. On the other hand, he has been able to provide necessities for himself until he got in Form 3. And there he had to drop out of school because he couldn't afford to pay school fees for himself.
The same wind blew through Chibali village, affecting Pempo Manyeta in her first days of secondary school in Form 1. As her mother, Esnat Uladi, explains, Pempo was sent back home due to unpaid school fees after attending classes for only 2 days.
I couldn't get 30,000 kwacha to pay school fees for her, and it was painful because this is the second child that I am educating alone. It was the same with her elder sister who managed to attain an MSCE certificate.
This ordeal would have ended a dream the Malawian girl child has. As for Jean and Florence, fears of losing their sons to the world were overwhelming.
His dropout would have led to him going astray because he really wanted to complete his education.
I felt sad and I was stressed because this is the only child who has shown commitment in the education.
By introducing the free secondary school education, President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika directly and indirectly touched souls. To others, there is money to save, but to Esna Tuladi, chains of recycled illiteracy have been broken.
Honestly, I just want my children to be educated.
In his observation, Balaka District Commissioner Bibu Yusuf Mdala says the policy will enhance development from community level with availability of educated development committee leaders to citizens that might bring developmental projects to their areas.
You know, there are a lot of development projects that takes place in the areas, and if people are not educated, they like meaningful participation because in most cases, it requires people who are able to read and write. And if someone is not, then it is very, very difficult for him or her to contribute meaningfully.
The free education policy will not only benefit students and their families, but according to Owen Kamoto, Chenda Usiku Community Day Secondary School's head teacher, administratively, there are already changes in school plans implementations.
We planned to purchase a school laptop as well as a printer for administrative activities, including production of examination because it was somehow costly. But with this free secondary education policy, we have managed to purchase.
The 2030 Sustainable Development Goals have Malawi and other countries agreeing to achieving goal number 4 of ensuring inclusive and quality equitable education, of which recently Malawi was challenged in giving equal opportunities to boys and girls. Statistics from the Southeast Education Division reveal that in terms of fees, more girls were privileged to bursaries than boys. Division Manager Edina Manyungwa said the data of 2025-2026 school year alone shows that at least 5,950 girls were benefiting from different organizations, while 3,100 boys were able to get bursaries, creating unequal opportunities. With the free education policy, the ground is leveled. Meanwhile, education partners have now started contemplating on supporting the sector on new projects after being relieved from the school fees interventions as Center for Alternatives for Victimized Women and Children, CAVOC coordinator in Balaka District, Raitwe Nyirenda, explains.
During an assessment, we found out that teachers, they were looking for infrastructures, lab, and others were asking for the push bikes. So once everything has been concluded, we'll come back to the district and we'll see the way forward after our discussions.
Free secondary education policy shows a mission and vision that is not only on paper, lying on office shelves, but printed out in people's hearts with a restored peace of mind to those that the future was dimmed because of economic challenges.
And that's the news for now. A recap of our top stories before we leave. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika says his government has put measures to ensure that the country is stabilized from various economic challenges. Government challenges local councils to find sustainable economic activities that can transform their districts. In our special report, we bring in families that once lost hope on the academic future of their children and now have it restored due to the free secondary education policy. You are with me, Upile Kaisa. Thanks for watching. Good morning.
yetu nkhani zake zikuyenda yoncho kuti tikulandireniso kachiwiri yetu tialandirenso kachiwiri Valentine special sopano lino ku Amaryllis Hotel mu mzinda wa Blantyre koma nkhani zake nzachikondi zachikondi zizimveka somosiyana
lero ndi Saturday losiyana Saturday limene iniyo ndachikondi anu mwene mukhaye pamene popo kumvesana kukoma ifeso kunoko tikumvesana kukoma
mwaiona ndiyo gawana ngani ndiyo gawana chikondi ncho gawana sicho chona
chikondi chimafunika kugawana kwanga tisiri kugawana ndesi chikondi
ndesi sikuteka
chikondi ndikugawanako
ndiye kuti panopo zochitika ndizankhani makalata awerengedwaso ochokera pa mtima
let us from the heart komanso ti ndi kaposo ene imene tacheze nayo ubwesani niyo zinthu zoti mumve kuti lelolo ndisikudi la zachikondi
inde inu nkhani ya chikondi ndi nkhani yokoma kwambiri ndi nkhani zoife tikumva kukoma mwaona
tushiro kuva koma kuti tili gejina sitiliso mene timakhala masiku onse zachikondi zikupangisa kuti munthu ukamva kuti pali zachikondi zimva kukoma osati osati ukuya nazo
tili ndi bandiso pano ya lokolo
inde yathu itipasire kanyimbo
magayi tayambeni eya chigwirizano
Chigwirizano